Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Got a couple of us waiting. It's still a couple of minutes before we have to start, so I've already marked out where I'm actually going to do blue on here for the rest of the kimono, so that's done. So we've got a few more coming in now. Thank you to everyone who sent well wishes for me last week because I had no voice. I'm much better than I was then. It's taken me a little while to get over it, but all better now, and my throat's a lot better. Still got a tiny little bit of a cough, but I think that's just normal for this type of weather. So if you guys aren't in Australia, it's actually winter here and it's freezing cold. And I was just saying that it was absolutely pitch black here and it's raining and it's very, very cold. So hi, Debbie. Thanks for joining us. And Linda. And I think we had, who did we have earlier? Kathy. Hi, Kathy. And anyone else who's come in, thank you for joining us. So I have a couple of things I just quickly want to go through before we get started. First of all of the links that I do talk about today should be in the description below. If there's something that I've missed, please let me know and I can give you the details for that as well. So all the links to the previous videos, I'm putting them in the little information box. It's kind of in this top hand corner. I think I'm pointing in the right direction because when I look at it, it's actually mirrored. So I'm pretty sure it's in that top corner there. So you should be able to see the links to the previous videos. So we've actually done already 3 parts. So this is part 4. Unfortunately, with pencils, it does take a little bit longer than markers to get through the image. So the videos have been taking the hour to fill out the smaller amounts that we've done already here. So yeah, we might need to do one more video depending on how we go today. Hi guys. I know all you guys over there, it's summer and yeah, we always complain it's too hot in summer, and then when winter comes we complain it's too cold. So, Mother Nature can never win, I guess. So I've got a few more coming in now. I was just saying that I've marked out the area that I'm actually going to do blue included in this blue part of the outfit here. And I'm going to do these little sections here red. And I'm also going to do the fan, I think, in a red as well. I might try and make it a little bit more pink than the sort of cherry red color, but I'm going to use similar colors in the fan as well there and in these flowers here. So not a lot to do really when you look at it, but because it's pencil, it may be another session before we actually finish it. So hi for everyone who's just coming in. I can see all of your messages there, and sometimes I don't look and they disappear on me on the screen. So I do know you're all here, and thank you so much for joining. So just a quick thing first about the little subscribe button there. Click on that, and also there's a little bell if you want notifications when I upload new videos. Also, you can request to get a notification when a live video is coming up so that it will let you know when it starts. Also, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Vero, and I have a Patreon page. On Patreon, we do a lot of tutorials just like this one, more in depth, and they take a little bit longer, and I explain things a little bit clearer than I do in the speed colorings and things that usually go up on my channel. So the lovely Heather Valentin, I've been told I've been saying it wrong all this time, it's Valentin, has just started a exclusive club for her images. So the Lacey's Sunshine Color and sorry, mouthful there, Color and Craft Exclusive Membership Club. I've popped a link for it in the description below. In that membership, it is $4.99 per month. I think that's American as well. And what you actually get in the club membership is actually worth way more than what Heather's giving it away for. So it's really exciting. So in that, I've popped the link in the description so you'll be able to see everything that's included in that. Also, there's an exclusive Facebook group for that as well. So if you wanted to pop over and check that out, you can. She has done her first image for that exclusive membership group. So this was one that she's done. Let me see if I can pull the zoom out a little bit there. So this is an image that she did for the exclusive membership club. This is the first one. I've colored it up with Copic markers, and this is a sneak peek. I'm going to do a speed coloring of this one on my channel in the next couple of days, and I also will have a extended video for patrons as well, and I'll also have a color chart or conversion chart to pencils for patrons as well. So if you're interested in that, check out Patreon in the link below. And that should be in the next couple of days. So I've just finished that one up. It's absolutely beautiful. It's so different. And because it's exclusive, it's even more exciting. I'm losing my breath this morning. All right. I've got all my bits and pieces here and my pencils. And I've got links to everything that I'm using in the description as well. Okay, let me just zoom in again. Go and go a little bit further this time. So you can see there that I've already started. I've just marked it out so I knew where I was going to actually do it. But the blue, I'm just going to follow and do the same thing that we did previously on this section of the dress. And I'm not going to fill it out today. I'm just marking it out just so that you can see that, because I want to try and get a fair bit of it finished for you. Oh, I just broke my pencil because I'm pushing too hard already. But that section there is going to be in the blue, like the bottom here. So some people did say that they'd already filled out the bottom section here with blue. That's fine. It's not really going to make a huge difference. I'm going to do it red. I was sort of debating whether to do it red or blue, but because we've got all of this going in there being a bit more red, I figured that we should put it into the sleeve there as well. I've just gone over that. It's all good. So I'm going to start with the red. Just got bits and bobs everywhere here. Okay. Don't have a lot of room here, so pencils I've got to use today are black. Let's see, BlackRaspberry. And Tuscan Red. I've got raspberry. And I've got Crimson Red and Permanent Red. So an important thing to remember when colouring is if you don't have all the colours, as long as you've got, say, I'll go with a shadow colour, which I would pick probably raspberry, a mid-tone colour, which would maybe be Crimson Red, and then the highlight, which would be Permanent Red. So you would only need to do 3 to get still a very similar effect. So don't stress if you don't have all the colours. What have I got there? A grey. Don't know where that came from. So I'm going to start with the darkest colour, which is Black Raspberry. Raspberry. And we're going to do this same technique that we've done in the other parts of the clothes, but we're going to do this with a different color, obviously. I'm going to turn it a little bit so I've got a better angle there on the camera for you. So I'm just going to put a shadow underneath this fan here. And I'm going to put medium pressure on the lines and shadow areas. So we want to try and create some creases and wrinkles again. I'm just going in and marking all those out. Making the lines a little bit longer in some cases because we want to make sure the wrinkle goes right through. So I'm using medium pressure. And I've got a really nice sharp pencil. So you can see some of those creases are coming around and almost touching. And I'm just marking around the outside edge there as well. I'm also going to do the lining of this sleeve. So I'm just going to do a darker patch at the top here. And I'm just going to line the outside edge for now. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring that color in, the lighter it goes, right through into the middle. So we've got a little bit of a shine in the middle, just to make that look like it's sort of rounded a bit. I'm going to do the same on the other sleeve. Just show you there. When it's so zoomed in, it's hard to get the image right in the right spot for you. Okay. A little bit of a fold there down the bottom, so I'll just do that a bit darker. Okay, I'm going to do the other sleeve. Go back to there. I'm going to do it a little bit darker under this because I think it's like a, I'm going to make it a separate part of the material because we'll do that probably white with the red in the flowers. I'm going to make this side a little bit more of a shadow because the hair's there. I'm thinking that's her hair there, so I'll just come back over that with black later. Just joining up those creases onto the edges there as well. Just coming down and underneath all this area here. Oh, don't want to go up there. Just ignore that. Try and sort of match them up on the other side. Okay, so that's pretty much, oh, I missed a bit of the sleeve. Hang on, down here. It's because it was so large. A little bit more of a shadow up there where the fan is, and then I'm just going to come down. Be more of a shadow here at the back. And the picture doesn't really finish off right down the edge there, so I've just sort of finished it there. Brought that shadow up a bit. So what I might do is I might put the next lightest colors on, and at the end I'll just come back in with that black and just deepen up these darker areas that are really overlapping, just to make sure that they set apart from each other, because there's two sort of dark areas together. There's another one up here. So that just there on the edge of the belt too, they're going to overlap. But yeah, that's pretty much all I'll use the black for. Now let's go to the next lightest color. I'm going to use Tuscan Red. Going back around, sorry, making you dizzy there. So I'm going to go over the top of that previous color, and I'm going to put medium pressure again. If I can help it, I prefer not to do 2 layers. If we can get a lot of this done in this first layer, it will just make things a little bit quicker. just medium to light, coming in over the top of the previous one. This color is really similar, it's just slightly lighter. Just redefining the shadow lines and then just softening it off as I come further around and out. It's actually almost exactly the same color, so I was just saying earlier too that I have popped my color chart in for my Prismacolors in the description below, just a Dropbox, so that you can have a look at a color chart if you don't have Prismas, because it will help you if you're picking your own colors too. It's coming back into the belt now underneath the fan. So just going over the top of the previous color and then lightening it up as you come further out. I'm expecting some Caran Pablo pencils in the mail fairly shortly, so I'll do a live unboxing of those. I'm pretty excited about that. I'm going to try to, in the near future, start adding in to my color conversion charts on Patreon the Black Widow pencils and also the Pablos. So starting to get some nice depth already. All right, next color I've got is the raspberry. One. I don't have the full set of Luminance yet, so it's going to be hard to do a conversion because I don't have them yet. Yeah, it was a big decision between the Luminance and the Pablos because they're roughly the same price. Just going over the top of that previous color, and I'm putting a lot of hard pressure down on those darker areas, but really lightening that up as I come further out. So we're doing that so that the next color will blend in nicely. This is a really nice red, this one. Just going down the arm. Trying to be a little quicker, so if you do need to come back and re-watch, you can slow it down if you'd like. Back under the fan again. I haven't actually done a full video with the Black Widows yet. I had one going, but got damaged, so don't I'd like to do another one. I actually saw the Black Widow pencils yesterday. I was in the art shop, yay. And the awesome gentleman that sells the Black Widow's pencils had been in the day before. And obviously now that the art shop are actually stocking those. But the lovely lady in the art shop there did an image on some Strathmore mixed media paper, and it absolutely was so pretty, and the pencils work so well. But that absolutely has a lot to do with the paper as well. Coming back in now to this other side. Yes, my fingers are absolutely frozen right now. No feeling. And I actually think my heater's turned off. It's on a timer, so it's not on all the time, but it's gold. Just making sure that I'm going over the edge pieces nice and dark. And then releasing that pressure as I come further out. Nice. Kind of a burgundy red at the moment, but it's going to get lighter. The next color I'm going for is Crimson Red. Starting from this side, doing firmer pressure on the edges and just releasing that pressure in the middle. We've still got one more color, and then I'm going to put some white on. So I'm going to make sure that I leave enough room for a little slither of white. So we can see a little bit coming through this section here, which I'm going to try and leave as much as I can. And that's becoming a little bit more cherry red colored. So I've set up another live video for next week, just in case. I think we are going to need it because we're not going to get through the remainder and also the background. Actually, I'm not sure about the background. I'll have a think about that. You guys let me know if you think it should have a background or should it stay white or just a single color or not. Coming back down this section here. This part at the top here is already burnished down now, so we've almost sort of finished the section there already. So you can do it this way. You don't need to do a couple of layers. I do find, though, if you're not using great paper and you're still learning, it still may be better just to go in with the lighter layers first and then come back in and do your heavier layer. So just keep that in mind when you're moving along. Coming across there to that side. And then this side. I've still got medium pressure, and I just release that pressure as I get to those lighter sections. Okay, just that middle belt section now. I'm really glad I chose this color. It's coming out really pretty, and it does really suit the blue. I think I mentioned I was trying to go a little bit more traditional, but there is really hundreds and hundreds of different color combinations that they use. So traditionally it's just colorful. Okay, so it's starting to look really quite pretty. I'll just zoom out a little bit so you can see how it's looking so far. Sometimes when you see the whole image, it's looking really pretty. And once we do the blue at the top there, it's going to sort of fit in well nicely as well. I'm going to zoom back in and we're going to go to the last red color I've got, which is Permanent Red. This is kind of an orangey, salmony red, I guess. We'll start with that sleeve again. I'm going to leave a tiny slither of white through the middle. See just there's tiny little slithers of white. And this is to give us our little shiny effect. So it looks more like satin. Moving down now to the next section. So I'm doing another live color I can't talk, color along for the lovely Jenny Lewin, who is actually in the group here today. So hi, Jenny. And she's actually bringing out a new coloring book in a couple of weeks. So I'm going to do just a quick live coloring of, I'm thinking about just doing a little bit of a flower. It won't be a full image tutorial for the live, but I will finish it off and do a video for that too. And at the moment, I'm doing a color along in the Heart Gallery group. So that's been really good. I'm doing a Molly Harrison image for that one, the Firefly image. And there's still 3 weeks left on that one. So if you're interested in joining that, have a look up the Heart Gallery in Facebook. Just going to use my little thing again there. And this one is the last section here. And then we're going to just grab the white and we're going to do the same thing we did in the blue section as well. So we get that nice shiny sort of look. If you haven't flattened out the whole of the tooth yet, I've actually got plenty of pigment on mine right now. I could use that Caran blender and blend that all nicely without putting any more layers on. But I do want to put some white in there just to brighten up those sections. Let me just grab my white one. So I'm just going to go in using fairly firm pressure, but I don't want to break my pencil, which does happen with these, so just be careful. If you can't do firm, just do a couple of layers in those sections there. Just make sure your pencil's clean before moving along. Now some of the red is sort of smudging in a little bit, but that's okay. It'll just be slightly pink in those areas. but you'll still be able to see that nice highlight area. So you can see that that one there looks a little bit whiter than this one here, but that's okay. Okay, I'm going to move down to the belt. Linda. Jenny is giving away a page to color, so that she's already started that event on her page. So if you want to go check that out, you can get the free image to do for the color competition. Yeah, no, I'm not saying that. You don't have to buy it. Having a little giggle here because they're just doing the white still. Some of those sections were already covered over, but I've still gone over them with the white. Yeah, I'll invite you to the thing. It is just on her Jenny Lewin. Actually, I'll check that out before we finish the video, but it's on her actual artist page. I'll see if I can grab a link for you all. Okay, so there's still some tooth. You can still see a little bit of rough tooth there, but I'm going to go back in with the colorless blender, or the full blender, sorry, with the Caran d'Ache one to cover that up. You can see how shiny it is in that light too. I just sort of flick it, and you can see the areas I've gone over with that blender and where I haven't, which is the red section that I haven't done yet. Looks quite cool. Anyway, just cleaning off that pencil again. And then the last side. Oh, pencil's dirty. Okay, I'm grabbing that full blender, and I have yet another full one. I've got about 10 broken pieces now that are just too small. I might have to melt them together or something. I'm sure it could be done since it's wax. I'm just going to come over now. I'm going to start in the white sections and move out towards the darker so that I don't smudge too much of that dark color in. And I'm just going to go over all of the area there and just flatten out all of that tooth, or that rough looking tooth that's still left there. So there you go. You don't have to do a couple of layers to still get it to look nice and bright and have some depth. As I said earlier, though, if you haven't got that great a quality paper and you're a little bit nervous about that, then definitely do a few layers and build that up rather than just try to attempt it all in one go. Just cleaning off my blender as I go so I don't get the darker color in that light color. So this page is actually in a colouring book. It's in the Spring Romantiques colouring book by Heather Valentine. It is in the description below, so you can click on that and you can get the book. The image is only available through the event until I finish the image, and then it won't be available. You'll have to buy the book to get the image. And I did do a quick flip through of the book in the first video, so you can check that out if you missed it or want to watch it again. There's some absolutely beautiful images in it. I've got another one on my list to colour from there, actually. But I'll be doing that one in marker. All right, I think I've got that section there done. It's nice and smooth and shiny now. Make sure I've got all of the tooth. And just got rid of all the dust there as well. Okay, I'm going to go down and do the belt. Nope. Oh, what happened there? I seem to have lost video. No. Okay, that's really strange. If you're still listening and can still hear, I'm not sure what's going on with the camera there. But I don't really want to move on to another section until we've got the camera back. So it still says it's broadcasting live, so it may catch up in a moment. If it doesn't, I might have to go and create another live event. Okay, so it seems like some people can see me and that it's caught up again now. That's really strange. I'm really not sure what happened there. It doesn't usually do things like that. I'm just going to refresh one of my other pages and see if that helps as well. Oh, there we go. Howdy, I can see you. I had to refresh my page for it to come back up. So yeah, that's really, really weird. But yeah, it actually never stopped streaming here. So it's very odd. All right, I'm still doing the belt here. First world problems, I tell you. All right. A little bit of a hiccup, and I'm sure it'll be fine now. Okay, so I've just flattened out the tooth of the belt, and I'm just going to move on and do the sleeves. So what do you think of that color for the fan and the flowers, I'm thinking? That will work out well. I'm just cleaning my thing off again. It's nice and smooth and looks like it's nice and shiny. Hi, welcome back, everybody. Oh dear. We lost some in the process. Hopefully they'll come back. Still using that colorless full blender. And I have to keep making myself hold it lower down so it doesn't snap on me again. I've got about 6 of them now just sitting in my drawer ready to go because it's a little frustrating. Anyhow, let me move out a little bit so you can see the picture so far. Ah, she's so pretty. What I thought I might do is make this, even though I've already gone over it with the blue now, I thought about maybe making that section white and filling in the flowers with that bright color. Any suggestions? Anyone? Any other ideas? But I think I might just do that. So to do white, all right, so what I might do is if I do white, I'm going to use the greys. I already have my cool greys out from doing the hair, but I'm only going to use the, well, there you go. That's why I had the grey out earlier, 50%. And I'll use the white. It's not very sharp. I'll just give it a sharpen. So yeah, Jenny's book is the anime Doodle Girls one. It's volume number 3. All right, I've got cool grey 50%. I'm just going to zoom back into that area. And all I'm going to do is just go into these darker areas and just using medium to firm pressure, being careful not to snap that pencil. I'm just going to go over those lines that have already been put in by Heather. And they're going to be just our crease lines in the white. So when you're doing a white costume or white image, you want to make sure you put a little bit of blue or grey into it so you still get a little bit of depth and it doesn't just look flat white. So I've just lightened up my pressure just on that edge there and just sort of done a little bit of shading there because there's actually a shadow there. And I'm just going to lighten up the pressure and extend on those firmer parts that I've just done just to add a little bit of shading. So we still want it to look like it's material. And then I'm just going to use my white and fill out around those areas. I actually went over the little blue mistake I did there and covered that with the grey. Moving from the lighter colour out towards the grey so that you're not smudging the grey too far in. Should have a little bit of shadow on her shoulder there, so just smudging that colour out. Now I've done that white first so that we don't smudge any of the red in the flowers out into that white area. So because it's already covered with white pencil now, it's a little bit harder. So you can see how that's now still white, but you've got a little bit of texture, a little bit of shape and depth in it now because you use that grey in those darker sections. Sometimes I talk and I don't know what's coming out of my mouth. Anyway. I'm not going to use the deepest colours for this part. I'm going to use the permanent red and the crimson red. Somebody just asked what book this one was. This is from the Spring Romantiques, Lacy Sunshine Spring Romantiques book by Heather Valentin. Okay, I've got my, I actually think we need a yellow for the middle section of the flowers. I want something that's nice and deep and bright, perhaps a Spanish orange, which is like a really yellowed orange, I guess. And I want to put that just in the middle of the flowers. I'm just going to do, you can see that there, I'm just going to do a little dot in each of them. Just like that. I'm going to use the Crimson Red, and I'm just going to go around that just roughly, just into the darker areas. And then we're going to use the permanent red on the outside of those petals. So we're not being too neat, we're being quite rough here, and it's just to put in the colour. And I've got that permanent red. And I'm just filling out the rest of the flowers there with that. So it's quite a little rough flower. And it's really just to make the eye look or think it's like a flower as well. Little rough little squiggles though. Okay. I think we might use perhaps we'll use those colours in the flowers on her head as well. I'm just going to grab that blender and just flatten out the tooth. Just being careful not to go over those red flowers. And then I'm just going to go over the outside of those flowers, make sure the tooth's flattened off in there as well. Now what I might just quickly do is just fill out the blue in the top of the kimono there. But I don't think I have all my blues. Let's have a look. So I've done the Indanthrone Blue. I've got Cerulean Blue. Just going over the top of that. Deeper and darker under the hair and around the fan area. And then I've got Caribbean Sea. I'm using medium pressure on those darker areas now so that I'm flattening out that tooth. And I'm just bringing that colour a little bit further down and making sure I release the pressure down there as well. There's a lot of shadows in this section here, so I'm not going to have a lot of white highlight areas because the hair and the fan and things are covering over that. And then I've got my powder blue, still leaving broke that. Still leaving a tiny little line for the white. And then I've got my white. Got one main highlight there now. I'm just going to flatten that out with the, oops, was a bit dirty, with the blender. Get rid of the tooth. This will make it look nice and shiny. And it'll also stop me from smudging it later on. I'm going to have to go back in with that darker blue because it's really lightened off. So I'm going to do that too. The Indanthrone Blue. Indanthrone, that one. It's coming into those darker areas again just to deepen them off a little bit. There we go. A little bit extra depth just gives it character and brings it to life a little bit, doesn't it? Okay, I'm just going to put a little bit of black here where the hair has come over. I'm just going to pop that in there as well. And I'm going to just deepen up that line where the hair's laying over the outfit there as well. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm just going to go back in and make sure the rest of that tooth's flattened. Oh, pretty. I'll just go back a little bit. Zoom out. Ah, she's looking really pretty now. Okay, so we're going to use the same colors in the fan, but I'm going to do them a little bit lighter. So I'm going to skip off some of the dark colors, and I think we'll just do raspberry, crimson red, and permanent red. So I'm going to start with raspberry. Now, how long have we got? 10 minutes. Oh, not enough time. Now, behind the fan here is going to have, because it's these little lines are in here, they're actually little pieces of wood, and you'll be able to actually see the background behind some of those. So what I might do is just go in with those with a bit of blue, and then start off with the color sort of from there onwards. So I'm just going to use the same colors, and I'll probably do that off camera, but I'll use the same colors and just bring them in here. I'll put a little bit of shadow in there, so it'll maybe be the darker blue, but you'll be able to see that blue coming through that then. So I'll start the color up here on the top section. This bit here I'm going to do blue, and then I'm going to start with the fan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, like we did down here on the kimono, the trimming area here, I'm going to do 2 dark sides, and then I'm going to bring out the middle section to make that look a little bit rounded. So we're going to do that all around the fan, and I'm going to try and skip the drawing that's on the fan because we want to put that in and make that nice and bright. Okay, so we're going to start with the raspberry first, and I'm going to go in. I'll just mark it out so you can see what I'm going to do. I'm just going to skip those little images. I'm doing either side of each of these little panels so that we create a little bit of depth in the middle, or highlight, I should say, in the middle of each of these sections, so that these little parts look a little bit curved. It will kind of make them look a little bit like more like material, I think. Just on either side. I'll just zoom back in again there. Got a bit further away, didn't I? Just skipping those little flowers. I might try and put some green in there or some blue. So whatever color we do use in the little images, we're going to make sure that when we color that this section of the image is darker, so that it still gives that whole section then the depth through there, and then the highlight through here. This is just really rough, and I'm just marking it out, and I'm going to come back in and do firmer pressure in those very, very corner edge pieces. Okay, so I'll start now doing firm to medium, medium to firm pressure, making sure that I release that pressure so we've got that grainy look on the very edge of it, so the next color does blend in nicely. So I'm going really dark in that crease, and then just releasing the pressure on either side. Now there's a line in the middle. I might just do that firm as well and just pick one side to go off there. So I've picked the left side of it to make fuzzy and ready for the next color, and the other side I've just left quite firm and hard. Coming in there. We're going to have a hard time, but we'll probably do those lines black because that'll come out nicely. Okay, so I'll just show you the next color so you can see where I'm going with it. So I've got Crimson Red, and I'm going to bring that firmer in that very edge piece there and just lighten the pressure and come a little bit further out. So we've only got 3 colors for this one, so we can make that section a little bit larger. Lightening off that pressure as I come up and out towards the middle. Extending that middle part up a little bit. That one actually blends back into the side, so that's fine. So I've got little V's going on in there. Someone just asked what color that is, and I'm not sure what section that was in, but I've just used the Crimson Red, sorry, the Raspberry first, then Crimson Red, and then the Permanent Red. So I'm onto the Permanent Red now. And what I've done is I have left a small slither of white through the middle there. So I'm going to do firm pressure out from the dark edge and just release that pressure. So you have no tooth showing, and then a little bit of tooth showing, and then a lot of tooth showing as you come to the middle. Just going around that little flower bit there. Thinking actually orange might look nice in there, or yellow. Darker on the edges, just releasing that pressure into the middle. There we go. Oh, it looks shiny already. Okay, I'm going to grab the white. Someone's just talking about being color blocked. I usually get out my favorite artist, and oh goodness me, I just sharpened that again and it keeps breaking on me. I usually get out my favorite artist. Usually I will just let myself go and do whatever. Sometimes they turn out awesome, sometimes they don't, but it usually helps to get me back in the mood for coloring again. Now I'm not going to spread that white out too much because I want that dark rich color to stay in the sides of it. So I'm just going over the middle section as much as I can, and then I'm going to use the other blender to blend it off. So I've got that full blender, just cleaning it off. It's still got blue on it. Just flattening off the rest of the tooth that's left there, and it still looks a little bit rough. Just make sure that you go from the light out. I've just done the dark first and cleaning it off again, and then just moving from that light section out just to smooth that off. You don't want to drag that dark color in there, otherwise it'll come out pink. How's that? Looks pretty good to me. Let's do this side. Flattening off the tooth. Clean that off again. Done. It's going to look nice and shiny. Thanks, Loretta. All right, so I'm just going to continue on now and finish off the rest of the fan. Before I do, though, how about we do this section in the middle here, because this is going to be a slightly different color. I've got my Indanthrone Blue. No, someone tell me how to say it. All right. Just like the markers, I had trouble saying what they were. It was chow in the end, but just going to put some of those lines in there. Matching up with the other ones. And then I'm just going to fill them out with, what have I got here? Some Caribbean Sea. Just going around. I just realized that those colors together kind of look a little bit like the American flag. So we're going to add some greens and things in, yellows and things, so it will change the the colors a little bit. And just, oh no, I did it. I broke it. Look. And I wasn't even coloring. I just picked it up. Oh dear. Shocker. White. Just in the middle of each of those sections. I'd have to do that bit there as well. And I'm just going to flatten out the tooth with my broken blender. Oh dear. Bugger. Oh well, it's done. It's tiny. I'm definitely going to look into putting them together though. I'll see if I can melt the ends and stick the ends together. I might make a full stick again. All right, I'm going to go back and finish off this red section here. Where am I? Raspberry. So if you're have to head off, I'm just going to finish off the rest of this fan and then I'll head off as well. But that is pretty much what we're going to do on the remainder of the image for that section. What we will do is we'll come back in next week and I will finish off the background and also the flowers up here. We'll probably only add in some green for the leaves and things. I might do a little bit of wood color here, but I think we need to put some yellow or orange through this fan, which I'll do. So we'll do that next week, but I'll just finish off the fan for now. So if anyone wants to hang around, you can keep hanging around. Try and go a little bit quicker now. So I'm back to the raspberry. I'm doing firm pressure and then I'm releasing it out towards the middle sections. Also too, if you think that these sections need to be a little bit darker, you could bring some of that black raspberry in at the end and just deepen those up as well, which I've just done in that one there. Yeah, I've already got one in an extender. Someone just said they put it in an extender. This is my extender pile. Got one in there. I don't know what brand that one is. So the Derwent one's got my Caran Dash white. Got a couple of different types, but I don't know if anyone else finds it. I have trouble because I keep hitting my hand on this bit when I'm colouring and I end up with big dints in my finger. Same with that one. It's got little rough lines all over it, but anyway, I talk too much, really. All right. Still using the raspberry, and I'm just doing these edge bits. Making it a little bit wider than the first two because I think that darker colour sort of disappeared a bit in the background. I want them to look quite dark, so my pencils were wanting it off again. So I had fun in my art trip yesterday. I was only supposed to spend 10 minutes grabbing my ink refills. I was actually on my way past because my daughter's Deb is in a couple of months and we had to buy her a Deb dress. So we happened to be going past. So I just dropped in to pick up some refills for my markers when I ended up being there for over half an hour having a chat and looking around. Big trap going in. Online orders is so much better. If anyone lives in Victoria and near the art shop, they've actually got Kat doing a demonstration with markers in there. I think it's on Tuesday next week, but they have a Facebook page as well, so they've got it advertised on there. Kat is a lifetime Copic ambassador as far as I've heard, so that's exciting. Okay, coming back in with the crimson. I can spend that amount of time if I really, really need to, but yeah, it's definitely 10 minutes is not long enough, but that's all I really had, and it ended up half an hour, so I had to get back and record some videos for you guys because being sick, I haven't been able to voice record anything lately. I'll have to get a few more done today so we can be caught up again for next week. Oh, I just went over my little heart or flower or whatever that is there. Just going to use my little eraser and erase it. It's not coming off completely, but with the wax pencils, you can go over things like that and you won't be able to see it. Like it's never there. Like my little mistake that I did down here with the blue, it's gone. The good thing about wax pencils is too, if you wanted to do a no line drawing, you can actually go over the lines with this and it covers up most of the black lines, which is handy as well. I'm just going in firm on those edge pieces, and look, I've just gone over that as well. That's all right. Just be careful, Belinda. Stop it. All right. We're nearly done. Okay, I've got the permanent red. I'm going to make sure that I use and leave, a little bit of the tooth in the middle so that we can do our white center. I just marked it out first so I wouldn't go over it. And then move back out and flatten the tooth again. You can see on some of them I've left a little white spot there. That's where the little middle section was marked out. So there was firm pressure there and I got lighter on this side. But that side there now is going to have a little bit of white, which will help with the depth as well. So Jenny, have you been busy sketching for our other project that we've got going soon for July? I love having all these little exciting projects going on. It's exciting. The art shop for you, Linda, you'd have to stay there all day. Have a coffee and watch a class. You exciting. Got a little project planned for another group that I'm in July, and I know that she'll actually be listening to this, maybe not now but later on, for a Christmas in July event that's coming with Tamara. All right, and now I've got my white. Don't want to pick up that blender again. I'm scared I'll break it again. And just coming down the middle again. It's a bit awkward around those little flowers, isn't it? Okay. I feel like it's not, I can't finish it now, right now. I need to put the color into those little flower bits before I go. Otherwise it feels like we've half done it. All right, here goes the blender again. Where did it go? So here where I've just, I think that it just here needs a little bit more black or dark under here because that shadow is now blended in with the fan. So I've just got my black again. No, I haven't because I can't find it. There it is. And I'll just sort of go underneath there just to put that difference between the two. There's a little bit of shadow there now. Okay, back with my blender. I'm just going to go over all of these dark sections first. And then I don't have to clean my blender in between. I'm just making sure that all the tooth's flattened off. Yeah, it's not. It is brekkie time still for us, or morning tea time for us, I think. But I don't even know what's for dinner. I get so busy with these videos that dinner gets forgotten, and shopping does too. Just trying not to, if I have gone over those little flowers, I've just made sure I haven't pushed down the tooth so that I can kind of rub that off a little bit and go back over it with the darker color, whatever I do decide to use. Thinking we might bring that yellow back in that we used in the middle of those other flowers. It's almost done. I can't handle using that. I'm going to sharpen the other end of my blender. Yeah, we live in the future, Linda. The future. Oh, excuse me, just bumped my desk. Okay, almost done. I just sharpened the other end of the blender because that was getting too small. My hands are getting sore already. So sorry, guys, to keep you for so much longer. I've almost finished this now, and we can head off and go and finish the day. Or in some cases, start the day. It would be. We could predict terrorist attacks, couldn't we? And protect everyone if we could really see the future. Oh dear. All right, I'm actually just going to go in and deepen up. I'm going to move that zoom out a little bit again so we can see what I've done. And I'm just going to go in with that, no, not that one, black raspberry. And I'm just going to deepen up these shadow areas and then decide on what color to do in those little flowers, eh? Oh, just going to throw my pencil around. I'm going to use the Spanish orange, and I'm going to do in the deeper parts of these areas with that. So just where it's darker. And either side of that one. Where else have I got them? Over here. Just in there. This is where it doesn't really matter if you've gone over it already. It's just going to make that slightly darker. Right through the middle of that one. Just on the edge. And then I think we might just grab the Canary Yellow. So this is Canary Yellow. Look how big my Canary Yellow is. I have to get a replacement for that one soon. And I'm just going to fill out the rest of that with this. It's only a slight variation in the color, but just going to show a little bit of depth. And I've still got some red through there, so it's just giving it some character. I just feel a little bit better that that's actually in there. And I'm going to go over those little lines with the black pencil as well, just to sharpen them off. And that's it. So I've got a nice sharp black pencil. What have we got? Some lines in here. And just going over that pattern. Mr. Flower. Got a bit of hair going over this as well, which I've just added into there. I think that is another flower. So what do we think? So far, so good. I'm so thankful for you guys for hanging around. It's been a nice little chat this morning. I've just got that blender and I'm just sort of softening off. I missed a couple of areas, so we'll just neaten that up now. But I am finished. So I will see you next week. I'm going to have to sit down and figure out what we're going to do for the background colors. I'll try and do that before we start, but I'm thinking it might need to be some sort of orangey yellow color to help with, like, be a contrast between that dark color there. And we'll have light at the back so she pops off the page a little bit. But yeah, we will be doing these flowers. I'll add in some green for the leaves. And I'm just going to fix up this little section down here. I'll do that off camera, but I'll just make that look a little bit more see-through. I'm just going to use some black in those lines to deepen them up a little bit and just put some blue in the background there to match up with what's behind her. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Make sure you are following me on all of my social media links, and also catch up with me in the event. I love seeing all of your work in progresses. It's really great to see everybody's interpretation of it, and also I've loved seeing the ones that were different colors, and it's really exciting. So I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching, guys.